Two Dads, One Dut, Girthy Football, Season 2, Week 10? 12. Week 11 recap. Week 12 going into episode 79. That's called a winning streak.
Yes, it is.
All right, you guys, listen up. We won a game yesterday. We win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It happened before.
And I'm on board for it.
He might be Dan Campbell reincarnated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Well, Dan Campbell would be
him reincarnated. Yes, like, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, that's from Major League, and it's them describing how a winning streak works because the aforementioned Detroit Lions, that are Skur's home team, favorite team, they're on a little bit of a winning streak. But this week for episode 79, we're going to do a thing that I like to call quickies. And then we're going to move into
I don't hate it.
move into a little thing that's titled Chiefs and Indians.
I don't know if y'all say that.
Yeah. Minnesota, I'm fine. Mark Summers, what would you do? Justin Fields edition. And then, man, you guys are great. Man, I'm serious. You guys are awesome. You guys are great, man. Because Dan Campbell says man more than any person I have ever seen in my life.
I was like, I don't know what that's from, but okay.
Watch any interview or like post-game thing that he does. He says man to start a sentence and ends it with man.
He says men. He refers to him as men.
No, man. Trust me, watch it. It's weird. I mean, I love him nonetheless. But then, yeah,
it's like your favorite team or something. You don't know shit.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it. But do the Rose in the Raft game, and then we will round out with our top 3 bottom 3s. They will probably be updated this week, I would assume.
Yeah, you fucking wish.
And then the picks of the week, which the pod went 2-1, and we'll get into why the one was a loss. But for quickies, let's get started. So, Taylor Heineke is the Shane Falco replacements to a T.
100%.
Carson Wentz is the higher paid guy who actually kind of sucks, and the team sucks when he plays. So that's the big thing. So even though the one guy on the replacements movie, like he was just an asshole and everybody hated him,
I mean, he's the MVP of the league.
Yeah, but in this case, it's like
it's pretty good.
Carson Wentz just isn't. So they're 2-4, but when Heineke plays, they're 4-1, and I'm like, to me, it's just one of those weird things. Like, just keep the hot hand going. Like Heineke clearly, like people rally behind him on the Commanders. I don't know why, the Washington football team, whatever you call them. Like, just keep it going.
It's because they keep it simple, stupid? They dumb it down.
I saw a stat today. With Carson Wentz, they have 18 drop passes. With Taylor Heineke, 0.
But again, it's one of those where sick next-gen stats. Thanks for bringing them up. But, like, that's nobody's fault other than just the universes.
No, that's the wide receiver's fault.
Receiver's fault.
They're dropped passes.
And what I'm saying is it's the universe that's like, sorry that you drop him when Carson's behind center, but just because Taylor's back there, it's not his fault.
No, be a professional.
Sorry.
Catch him when I'm throwing you the ball.
Maybe he doesn't throw it better, as good of a ball. Maybe there's better chemistry there. I don't know. I'm just saying, start the guy that's 4-1. Pretty easy.
Oh, I agree with that, but I think there's also stats where it's like, my man's getting a raw deal.
Sure.
I mean, that's the same thing with Cooper Rush. You didn't keep Cooper Rush in. You immediately went to Dak.
Yeah. And I think they...
Yeah.
Well, because, again...
Start the guy that's 4-1.
No, Carson Wentz was brought in, which, again, it's almost like the Matt Flynn thing where they're like, we're just going to pay you because on paper you're supposed to be good, whatever. Dak's been there. Dallas is just going to keep sucking his dick. We all know that. So it's a different scenario. But...
Till later in this pod.
Quickies. Things that look cool and things that don't look cool. Things that look cool. Since he's all white uniforms, those are cool. Why did they never done those before? They're white helmets. They're so cool. You don't think they're cool?
I love them, honestly.
So you get it.
No, they do it. They do it every year.
They do not. Since he just started doing white helmets this year.
Yeah, it was like the colorway.
Yeah,
like each team got to do a colorway.
Yeah, the color wash or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they've done the all white uniforms, and maybe the helmet was different.
The helmet was still orange, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
okay, so the all white.
more teams are starting to like buy into this like Oregon mindset of like, we're just going to come up with crazy color combos, and I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah.
More of that.
Well, it was similar to Carolina from last week. The Lions sometimes go all black.
Yeah.
And it is
fire.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fire. Other thing that looks
Would you
cool.
like the all white ones better?
Oh, yeah. All white all day.
All white.
No.
Next thing that looks cool. jacked defensive linemen, usually it's like the edge rushers, when they have finger tape, those guys just look they're animals. Like,
Yeah.
They look like they could kill a human being, maybe two. Like they're ready to party. And I don't know why, but it just looks awesome.
Have you seen Invincible?
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, where he gives them schooling, where he tells them like if his knuckles are like beaten down, it means he's gonna pass block. He's not gonna come off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
if you got
way.
white knuckles, he's charging you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
He's
it's
in
just-
there.
When they're all fingers are taped, love it.
I don't understand, like, literally, like, if you tape your fingers that much and how they still just, like, grab the jersey and that's all they hang on to and then pull them back.
Yeah.
But I'm like, buddy, your fingers are taped. You can't move those things.
No.
Like, you try and put tape on these things, you're just like,
Yeah.
that's why you tape it so it doesn't bend backwards.
Right. It's
The claw.
protection. But here are things that don't look cool from my assessment this past Sunday when I was coming up with this. It's basically any white guy that wears the jersey number between 40 and 50. They just don't look cool.
So linebackers.
No, between 40 and 50 on average, it's like
And they're white. They're linebackers.
special teams guys, just guys that look like you might have just grabbed him off the street and been like, dude, we just need a body in here. Could you just go in and play? Like,
Yeah,
it's-
but they're usually linebackers.
sure. But it's
Yeah.
between 40 and 50. I think there's some science there, like next gen stat, look it up, but it's tough.
What about fullbacks? Fullbacks look cool?
Mike Allstott, he was 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Okay.
Exception every rule. Quickie. Apparently, if you're a fat defensive lineman, an interception is just another day at the office, and you get roasted for running down the field to take a picture with your team in the end zone. But if you're TJ Watt and he fucking does it, it's the greatest play of all time. It was the most bizarre thing I think I saw happen all Sunday, all things considered. Again, no-named guy on Carolina picks off Lamar like at the line, like he's trying to fight through, get the sack, jumps up, intercepts it, runs down to the end zone. The entire commentary is just, uh-oh, big guy's got one. Big guy turnover. We're going to get a big guy celebration. Oh, he's going to be tired when he gets down to that end zone.
Yeah, they're
Uh-oh.
excited for him.
No, but it's like you're roasting him.
I don't think they are.
It's a backhanded compliment all day. TJ Watt does it, and albeit he,
I mean, TJ Watt's not a big guy.
well, no, but he,
I mean, to me, he's a big guy.
he
But
did,
to a 360-pound defensive tackle that get an interception.
No.
but he did the same thing. And these
Right.
guys, I kid you not, whoever was commentating the Cincy Pittsburgh game, oh my God, TJ Watt, did you see that play? This guy, he's back. It's incredible. That might have been the greatest defensive lineman play I've ever seen in
Was
NFL
it?
history. No, it was the exact same one that Fatty just made on the 1 o'clock games. I was
He
like,
calls
different
my mama
announcer.
whore.
why is he calling my mama a whore?
Different announcers,
Is
different
she?
opinions.
I think it's fucking stupid. It's stupider than fuck. Like the narratives are just dumb. I don't get them.
I hate narratives.
I agree. So, yeah, that's quickies.
Quickies.
Chiefs and Indians.
So
So
I don't know
here's
about that.
here's the analogy. So, the Chiefs have swayed my vote for the Super Bowl. They might be the only Chief in a league full of Indians this year. So there are other teams, albeit that are good or above average, setting their mark on things. They're Indians at the end of the day. The Chiefs are the only one that are a true Chief. The whole saying of too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. Yeah. I think the entire league is Indians, and the Chiefs are just going to have almost like when KD went to the Warriors and you just knew they were going to the finals.
Yeah.
And it was like barring injury, which did end up happening.
Kadarius Toney.
No, not even that. Like it's just they're-
Kadarius Toney is Kevin Durant in this analogy, correct?
no, but they are just they're gonna win. It's insane. I don't understand it, but I said it's still fascinating that the only one who even talks about the Chiefs ever is Nick Wright.
And he annoys the living piss out of me.
Huge Chiefs fan and overly sucks their dick, but he does kind of have a solid argument to suck it. So here are the facts.
Okay.
So Mahomes led another comeback game-winning drive with 1:46 left against the LA Chargers last night.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many game-winning drives he now has for his career?
A lot.
I'm going to go
No, because
17.
they're not losing it. I'm going to say 9.
12. So right in the middle. And it was one of those where
They're
he
winning
has
a lot.
11 of them being fourth quarter comebacks. So again, game-winning drives, whether the game's tied or they had the lead in the fourth, lost it. That's how they dictate that, which is kind of impressive. But do you want to play now the game of guessing who has the most ever game-winning drives and fourth quarter comebacks?
Tony Romo.
Matt Stafford.
Guys fucking suck. So game-winning drives is led by Tom Brady with 55. Peyton Manning has 54. Drew Brees and Big Ben are tied at 53.
All right.
Fourth quarter comebacks.
Okay, that's what I was going off of.
Who do you want to guess?
Well, I'm gonna guess Pat Mahomes.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are tied with 43.
Well, they have game-winning drives. Yeah, it probably happens because they're down in the fourth quarter.
Big Ben has 41 and Matty Ice has 38. So, again, he's doing great things. He's still young from a perspective of like their age, but it's kind of crazy when you think that 11 and 12 are where he sits and Brady sits at 43 and 55. That's a lot, which I get. Your argument you could make on the other side is the Chiefs just don't lose for the most part.
Yeah, they're really good. And I think honestly the thing that annoys me about Nick Wright is that it's
His
not
hair.
that well, it's pretty bad.
He's got a man bun going. I love it.
I do like him overall, and I like the fact, he
Keeps it real.
to a degree, but he just makes a point now to just shit on the Bills, and it's like,
Have to.
Yeah.
but it's like I get it. You have people that are talking about your boy, like, oh, Josh Allen's the next thing, and you're like, no, this Mahomes guy is the best. But it's like he was shitting on the Bills for their start, and then they ran off like 25 straight points, and he didn't say another word.
Right.
And it's like the Bills are still most likely going to go to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that. I hope it's going to be great.
Yeah. Get a part 3, part 4, whatever it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, everybody gets it. Like, Pat Mahomes is really good, but like, you just shit on the Bills every chance you
Oh, yeah.
get.
You have
'Cause
to knock him down. Make people realize, hey, man,
Well, and because I think it is.
my guy's
it's-
pretty good.
Right.
Everybody's balls deep in these next gen stats, and it's kind of crazy when you peel back the layers. And Josh Allen has kind of shown like he's not exactly the greatest like to depend on. Where Patrick Mahomes keeps,
Thought he was a dog.
he still is a dog, but then you show these stats, and it's like this is where Patrick Mahomes beats
Excels.
you.
Yeah.
And it's every time unquestionable almost. But so to keep with the Chiefs narrative here, I have something I think is going to be kind of fun. Will Travis Kelce go down as the best tight end ever?
Yes.
I love your quick argument or your quick response.
I don't know. I want to because I love the guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's in a system that's super tight end friendly.
Uh-huh.
He has a generational talent in obviously Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
But I feel like he's already had a few concussions in his career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to see him get any more.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
He's sneaky old. He's 33 or 34.
correct. And I mean, again, at the end of the day, they don't always go off of this, but he has one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like as good as the Chiefs are, we've talked about it many times on this pod. It's hard to win the championship.
Yeah.
So this question's based purely off of just stats for his category for tight end, just as to
Right.
clarify.
And I figure that's where you're going. And I think at the end of the day, from a statistical standpoint, yes, he's probably going to lead all tight ends because, I mean, at the end of the day, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? The guy, he does,
Tony Gonzalez.
yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't have a Super Bowl and owns quite a few tight end records.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's going to be between him and Gronk.
Well, so I'm glad you brought up another, an OG tight end, if you will. But one more question before we get into that. This might be one of the more interesting debates that I feel like people aren't having maybe. Who needs who more? Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, the most logical answer is Travis Kelce needs Patrick Mahomes for because he can't throw him the ball.
It's a square pick, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, because, again, we were talking about that. I was listening.
Because
well,
Chad Henne came in and threw it to Travis Kelce
You'll find out.
and they won.
Yeah.
But I get it that, they're going to make the argument. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on Pat Mahomes and Nick
Yeah.
Wright and all these guys because I love the Chiefs.
Boogers happen,
I've
people.
loved them for a long time. But, they're talking about how there's no Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
and he's still doing all this. His roster's still pretty good.
Yeah.
He's still throwing to a above average offense of weapon.
Yeah.
And he has the best tight end in the league.
I
If-
wouldn't.
if you-
I wouldn't say his offense is above average. I think Juju Smith was on a trajectory to be that guy, and then as soon as Antonio Brown left Pittsburgh, it kind of opened up like people's eyes to be like, "Well, you're a bona fide number 2. Like you're a guy
Well, his
that's gonna-"
quarterback also
Well,
went to shit.
it was also, yeah.
That
Ben
too, but I'm
Roethlisberger was
saying, like-
falling apart.
people expected Juju to come to KC and be the guy.
Well, it took him a while, and now he's starting to be the guy.
Yeah.
Like his last 3 games, he's over 100 yards and a touchdown. I think that's the guy now.
But he's getting hurt though, which sucks. Which is
Well, that doesn't make him not the guy.
Yeah, that's not making him not the
Unpredictable.
guy. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, you go to a new system, and I'm sure, like, when he first got there, Andy Reid was like, let's keep it simple. And then it progressively just got built. And he's like still catching up to the system. It was like Odell going to the Rams.
Yeah.
When he first got there, everybody was like, oh, he's not doing shit.
By the Super
But then
Bowl, he's
when
gonna
it came
pop
to
off.
yeah. But then when it got later into the season and you learn the system, you get that familiarity with the quarterback.
We'll see. Gentlemen,
It just builds up.
I'm just saying, like, Mahomes came into the league. He had arguably, if not the best wide receiver in the league. I mean, look what he's doing in Miami now.
Right.
Like, he's a game changer. And he has a top 3, if not the best tight end in the league.
Yes.
So he's been spoiled in that route, which, again, to his credit, he's still making crazy plays. But even last night's game, you look at what Herbert had. I mean, Mike Williams, who apparently is made out of glass,
right.
just, gets hurt making
Sold
a
me.
crazy catch. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, you look who he lines up with week in and week out, and you're like, how are you making plays with these people?
Yeah.
He's getting beat the hell up, and he just stays.
Right.
And he just goes.
But I
Dog.
think if you took Travis Kelce off of that roster, they don't win that game last night.
Correct. He
And-
was 21 points of that game.
Yeah,
You get that
I
you
think
need
it
the
would
guy
be a
throwing him the ball to get those, but he also has to be who he is in order to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Derwin James is a man,
Yeah.
and Travis Kelce made him look like
But Travis Kelce like sees the game like a quarterback.
Correct.
Like he reads the defense and he tells the wide receivers
it's a
what to do.
perfect
and
marriage.
everything.
He knows where to sit, and that's what I was going to say. Is I think it's one of those where you can argue that Mahomes needs Kelsey slightly more, but I do think it's just if those two were completely honest with each other and you like sat them down, they would be like, "Well, I don't want to go anywhere else
Yeah.
because I don't know. I don't even care if the grass is greener. Like this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like why would I leave?
They
Well,
are
yeah.
the greener grass.
Yeah, every time. So I said the crazy stat here is that he was arguably already putting up the guy numbers 2 to 4 years before Mahomes even got there. So in this
When he was
stretch,
Baby Gronk. That's what they called him.
really?
Yep.
So 2014 to
Had
2017,
a reality show.
he had over 800 yards to start with 5 tutties, another 800 yards, 5 tutties. 2016, 2017 is when he broke over that 1,000-yard mark, 4 touchdowns and 8 touchdowns. He is right now 9 years in, 6 seasons, on pace for a 7th to have over 1,000 plus receiving yards as a tight end. I chose arguably 5 of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game and compared their stats. So I have Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Gronk, Shannon Sharp, and Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many seasons over 1,000 yards they have?
Combined,
Just each one, however you want to do it.
I would say combined maybe 4.
Let's
think-
say 3.
I think Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten maybe have 1 apiece, 2.
So you guys are being modest. So it's Tony Gonzalez has 4 over his
Okay.
17 years. Antonio Gates has 2 over his 16 years. Gronk has 4 over his 11. Shannon Sharp has 3 over his 14, and Jason Witten has 4 over 17.
Good for them.
Kelsey's already surpassed
17,
them.
man. These guys played
Yeah.
forever.
Well, and that's what I think is crazy, and people aren't really diving deep to understand, is Kelsey's rewriting the entire narrative on a tight end.
Yeah.
If it's not 1,000 yards, it's a bad season. When back in the day, it was like 7 to
6
Right,
to
it was
7.
an achievement to get
yeah.
there.
And Tony Gonzalez, who again is just anointed, and he is respectfully with his stats and everything, he averaged I think 7 to 9
Yeah.
for most of his time, and it's just like Kelsey does that in his sleep.
Yeah. See the touchdown leader? Or is
Uh,
Gates the touchdown leader?
I don't know.
For tight ends.
I didn't look that up,
All right.
but might be Gronk. In all honesty, it's like fucking 90 or something crazy. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I
if
think it's a big. I mean, it's a chicken and the egg argument.
Yeah.
But I mean, at
He's
the end,
fighting to be the best receiver with receivers,
Yeah.
and he's a tight end.
Yeah, the whole position's changed.
Yes. But maybe it's one of those like the fun argument of is the position changing, or are you just seeing again truly the best
Antonio
player?
Gates has the most touchdowns for a tight end,
Does he?
116.
100. Okay. He's just the best player to ever play the tight end position.
Yeah. I mean, I don't wish
because he does
anything.
both.
Yeah, and I don't wish anything upon it because it changes their team, it changes the NFL. I wouldn't want it. But like, if something happened to Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to suffer.
Yeah.
100%.
He's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. That's
He-
it, and that's not a knock on him. You're throwing
Yeah.
to We just talked about potentially going to be the best player ever at that position. You should be good.
I should have crunched the stats because I believe he's on pace, because we already talked about how Mahomes is on pace to basically have close to his 5,000 yard, 50 touchdown season. Travis Kelce right now is going to account for almost, I think it's like 30% of that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. In 2 games this season, he's had 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He went 4-3. That's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, he's not bad. But
You can't score fucking 17 touchdowns in the season.
That's what I said. I'm like, man.
He's not gonna score.
I said it last time. It's like, this
so
guy.
good. And then he does 7 in 2 games. But okay, that's the Chiefs and Indians. So again, I think it's just crazy. Everybody's searching for a narrative in these next gen stats and like what can be the most polarizing. It's right in front of you. Patrick Mahomes is just fucking good.
Yeah.
To go back to last week, it's LeBron James. You don't want to talk about him because he's been so good for so long.
I forgot that.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like, how many times do you fire up any sports news and the Chiefs are like front and center of it? Like, I know now that Mahomes is the MVP frontrunner on like all sports betting sites.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. It's always like, I don't know, Justin Jefferson, sneaky value, Tyreek Hill. It's like Patrick Mahomes is running away with this award.
Because you can't just fucking, not going to give you the circle.
Yeah.
People need stuff to talk about.
And
Yeah.
one could argue, too, why are you not talking
podcast.
about his right hand, Travis Kelce?
Sometimes you talk about value, baby. Yeah, talk about value.
We got value on the table later. Okay. So next, Minnesota. And I put,
Minnesota.
I'm fine. So it's Ross from Friends where he's like, I'm fine. This might hold the record for the fastest game to know the outcome. So like we talked about, first play of the very first series, or I shouldn't say first pass play of the very first series was a sack strip fumble recovered by Dallas. And I said, but when a team is up, or a team is 8-1 overall, coming off a crazy win over Buffalo, in Buffalo, mind you, who everybody has anointed them as Super Bowl favorite contenders, great team chemistry, and Justin Jefferson 88 yards off, breaking the record for most yards in 3 seasons. How do you not look at that and take them getting points at home?
Because of what you literally just said. I said it last week. Cowboys coming off a bad beat to the Packers.
Yeah.
And Minnesota coming off a huge high of beating the Bills the way they did.
Yeah.
They're coming down. Cowboys are going up. Like, that's just the trajectory. That's the headline. That's the story. That was the circle square pick. Everybody saw it.
I think it's one of those where, again, any other situation or scenario, it's like you're just this team that struck lightning in a bottle and you're just going to keep riding the high.
Also, Micah Parsons, dog.
Yeah, he should win Defensive Player of the Year. It should already be like wrapped up. But I put
Also, Kirk Cousins, not 1 p.m. game, dude.
I said the same thing. I was like, he's a 1 p.m. game guy.
Yeah.
Watching it on NFL Red Zone almost felt like something was wrong because you would just assume it was recapping the highlights of the game. Every time they cut to it, it was Dallas scoring, on the way to score, or a disruptive play from the defense that got the ball back for them. It was absolutely insane. And then
You're like, how come you're not showing any Vikings plays?
literally
Then you look at the score and you're like,
Scott Hansen would cut to it and he goes, all right, we got Minnesota here. Maybe they're starting to make something happen. Nope, sack. All right, we'll go back to Denver, Ella, or Las Vegas Raiders. Like, let's see what's going on there. I said it's tough to win a game when these are the final stats for each team. So the total yards for the Dallas Cowboys was 458 to Minnesota's 183.
love it.
Fumbles lost. Minnesota had 1 fumble. Dallas had 0, so no turnovers. You want to guess how many sacks Dallas had?
9.
5.
7. Right in the middle again.
Nice.
Why don't you?
Minnesota had 0,
Well, sacks don't matter.
technically. Third down efficiency. This one's kind of crazy if you want to
Inside the pod joke.
next gen stat this. Do you want to guess what the third down efficiency was for Dallas?
Probably like 7 for 10.
70%. It was.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you want to guess?
You just said, oh, I was like, what?
What's
No.
the X 70% number I can come up with?
No, guess what Dallas or Minnesota's was.
12%.
9.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bad beat. I said all of that led to the great stat that all news outlets are pushing today, Monday, as we're recording. Although the Vikings are 8-2, they've been outscored 231 to 229. First team ever to have negative scoring differential being 8-2.
Yeah.
Because when they get beat, they get fucking beat.
I said it's crazy when 7 of their first 9 games were decided by 1 score. I understand trying to grab the best crazy new stat line scenario, but every novice should be able to understand and debunk this pretty quick.
Yeah.
When you're that close to a margin differential and then lose by 37, shocker. You tag one in the loss column, and then you take a huge hit in the fucking points against column. You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
then they got fucking creamed by Philly. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah. I'm
well,
just-
that's where it comes.
not to bury the lead,
yeah.
but that answers your question about how they were a 1-point dog at home. Because if you look at what they've done throughout the year, I mean, they were down 10 points to Detroit at home
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And came back to win by 4. Like you said, they beat the Saints by 3. They beat the Bears by a touchdown. They were at Miami, which was a good win. They won by 8. And the Cardinals, they beat the Commanders by 3. There's a reason why the media, everybody that talked about football were like, the Vikings, sure, yeah, they're 6-1. I mean, how many did they crack our top 3 in our power rankings?
Last week they did.
Sniffed it.
Not mine.
Yeah.
Not saying I was ahead of the game, but I mean,
For that week. For that week. It's week by week.
Yeah. It's week by week.
and I mean, again, I'm not like stepping on anything here, but like later on, they're home to the Patriots, they're home to the Jets, at Detroit, home to the Colts, home to the Giants, at the Packers, at the Bears. Like they could lose 5 out of their next 7 games,
Oh, there's a few I looked up where the back half of their schedule is tough.
and it's like, oh, this team. It's like, no, like people were saying we don't believe in you for a reason.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, yes, you shock it, and people are like, oh, never saw this team coming, but come on.
I
But the
think
Green Bay Packers are still dog shit. So it's like, you're going to make the playoffs. You're going to win that division.
yeah.
You're going to win it on a
Are
losing
they?
streak, probably.
Are they?
Well, and that's what I'm
Come
saying.
on.
It's one of those where we talked about it before, where it's the lightning in the bottle and everything goes your way for a season. Like it's not just one game
Yes.
or few games like
And you lose in
Minnesota.
the divisional round.
Well, yeah, exactly. But for right now, it's like, was this a bad beat? Like, did just basically nothing go right from start to finish? Sure. But I think everybody knew Minnesota kind of was like that sneaky team that just hangs around for whatever
Yeah.
reason. And they,
Well, they have players for sure.
but when they're down and down bad, like this is the only time other than Philly where they were just outright fucking smoked.
They have a negative point differential.
I know, it's wild. And they're 8-2.
And they're 8-2.
But here's the final thing. It did change my perspective. Major Indian vibes now. Sneaking up to be a chief. No. They're
No,
in,
no, no.
They're an
No,
Indian.
no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's for you.
Nice.
This is the Mark Summers What Would You Do Justin Fields edition.
Okay.
So, for those of you watching, prayers are up. People feared that he could have a broken shoulder or collarbone fracture.
Fudge.
Don't worry. Oh, don't worry though. David Chow, former NFL doctor, called that he just had cramps in the hamstrings late in the game.
Oof.
A lot of people
Nice.
feared like something was going on. Went to the sidelines, rub one out, little rub and tug.
Loved it.
Just
Giant
fine.
style.
Yeah, said he was just fine. And he was like, see, told you. But he said he most likely suffered an AC joint sprain.
Yeah. Classic.
Classic.
Usually takes 4 to 6 weeks to recover. But, fun fact, Kyler Murray did suffer the same injury and didn't miss a single game. And
During Warzone?
probably.
Probably.
It was on his throwing shoulder. Justin Fields was his non-throwing shoulder.
Oh, he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
Perfect.
Should he?
You played right into it. So, hot take.
Should he, though?
I think you rest him at least a week because
Yeah.
next week it's the Jets and their defense is fucking sneaky good. If not 2 weeks to fully recover because then you head into your bye.
Yeah.
So give him just a whole bunch of time to recover.
Love a good bye week in week 13.
Gotta.
Insane.
The most one you need right there.
Yeah.
That's when you need it.
But you guys for the final 4 games play Philadelphia, Buffalo, Detroit, and Minnesota. I said, and maybe this is the
You want to be the guys, you got to beat the guys. You know what I'm saying?
and that's where maybe this is the hot take question. I think you play him. If he's fully rested, fully healthy, you don't want him to lose that momentum.
Oh, no. You play it.
And,
Yes.
and you want him.
But he's the guy.
I agree with you. Let's sit him the Jets and
Yeah.
then go into the bye, sit him, and then for those 4 games, if he's good, he's good.
Yeah.
You got to play him because guess what, bud? You're the fucking franchise quarterback.
Well, and that's
So
the-
no matter
and that's
what,
the
you gotta
thing you
play.
have to have in your back pocket. It's like even if we win 2 more games coming home, we're not drafting a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna take the best player on the board
Yeah.
and
For
don't have
you.
to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're not gonna be high enough to where it could be a quarterback and you're going to trade down.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, let's play him because we're building a culture.
Experience. Gotta
Correct.
build
But
that
if not,
experience.
yeah, we get a high pick and we're going to take the best player.
Well, and because also earmuffs, like this season, everybody's ready to, because we're creature or habit of the moment or whatever. And he was atrocious for the first 3 or 4 weeks.
I wouldn't say that.
He found it and he keeps going up, or at least he keeps doing what we would want him or what we expected him to do. You don't want to lose that.
Yeah. You got to build on that momentum.
100%.
Yeah. And I think that's where you throw him to the lion's den, but in like the most, we're not doing this to piss on you. We're doing this because we want
And it's
you
not
to see.
throwing him to the Lions then. It's just saying, hey, man, finish out the season.
Yeah, you're an NFL quarterback.
You're the NFL. You're the
gonna
starting
play
quarterback.
Good teams.
You're going to start.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying like you would.
I mean, literally, you're throwing him to the Lions den. He's coming to Detroit.
I agree. But I'm saying you phrase it to him like that in the sense of, hey, you're our guy. We want you to go up against the top guys.
Yeah.
So we're throwing you out there. Like, we're not resting you. Like, let's fucking go. Let's try to win.
Let's go to the Lions game.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right.
Could be crazy.
We used to do it.
We did.
Now that they're not playing on Thanksgiving, I think that was what stopped it, right?
I think there was some infidelity that stopped it.
Like, again, cheating, it sucks, right?
It's
It was just Lions fans cheating. They were rooting for Bears.
Don't cheat on your toast and bacon.
true.
Yeah.
We'll get
Okay.
it later.
You want to go?
Sure.
Okay. Because then I have one last one for you.
Are we running the raft? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Raft ride.
Little raft questions here. Again, we're not splitting differences. We're not trying to be politically. It's just one side or the other.
Yes.
And this actually plays off of last week where I said in the NFC with Philly, Minnesota, Dallas, the Giants, Tampa, Seattle, and San Francisco, I said, can we just start the playoffs right now?
We can't anymore.
Was that a week too early?
Yes.
I give you the standings for where they are at now in terms of just the playoffs in the NFC. And it is actually, to my credit, those 7 teams still.
Yep. But then you have
However-
Washington, Atlanta, and Detroit at the 8, 9, 10 spot.
We do. And again, as much as I would like the Lions to make a huge push here, Atlanta's 5-6. The Commanders are 6-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco is 5-4. They're playing right now as we speak, and they're losing. So, again, everybody is just shitting on the NFC because it's wide open, which
Yeah.
to me is fun.
That's
I hope this continues to happen. I would love for Dallas and the Giants to just start battling back and forth to kind of bring the herd back. So, again, I ask you the question, will those 7 teams still be the 7 teams in the NFC?
Nope. One of those 3 aforementioned that are vying for a spot. I would argue the Commanders, football team, Washington, whatever the hell they are,
So,
and your Detroit Lions are playing the better football to where they're going to make the late game run or the late season push. And I have more on it, but yeah, that's my thought on it.
So you think the Commanders take over?
well, yeah, so let
the
me ask you
Giants?
this. So if they are in, of those 7 teams, Philly, Minnesota, Seattle, Tampa, Dallas, the Giants, San Francisco, who's out?
That's where I literally tried to wrap my brain around this all day, and it's really tough because you basically need, as a Lions fan, a lot of help from the NFC least. That's now the NFC beast because they're all foregoing, almost. Like the Commanders and the Falcons actually play next week, but it's like you want Washington, you want Atlanta, like it's just a lose-lose almost any way you look at it. Like you just need some teams to just start fucking up.
Well, you need the Commanders to win because they're 6-5. They'd be 7-5, and they'd probably take over San Francisco if San Francisco loses this game.
But it's one of those where
I mean, somebody is going to get in with a 8-9 record, I think.
Sure, but what I'm saying is
Maybe 9-8.
in this season in particular, it doesn't bode well for you specifically as a Lions person because
Oh, God, no.
it's so congested. Like there's just a lot of things. Like I was literally trying to like play out scenarios and looking at their schedules, and it's like the Giants play somebody within their division twice still, like at the end of the year. Like there's
I mean, they got played Dallas this
well,
week, and then
Washington
Philly twice.
Yeah.
and then Washington has to play. I think they still have to play twice. Or
Yeah, so
something.
they're
Like,
going to beat up on each other. Just depends
Yeah.
on how it works out.
and that's where it's like you need one of them to just start instantly fucking just turd gutter
Probably
season
be the
over.
Giants.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
probably because we beat them.
Yeah.
Turns the
Yeah.
season around.
What was the
So-
question?
So this was talking about how your Chiefs and Indians.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, has there been a lack of good football or just a lack of really bad football? Like, we assume that we're not watching good football. Is it just because there's a lot of mediocre teams and just not really good teams? Or are we watching a lot of really bad football and that? Because I will give you a stat. There's been 163 total games played up until this point.
Hell yeah. Sports.
Do you know how many games there have been where both teams scored in the 30s?
Oof.
I'm going to guess
7.
no. I'm going to guess 12.
13.
I fucking knew it.
7% of the
If
games.
you knew it, you'd have said it.
7% of the games have had both teams in 30s. 3 of those have been lying
I
games,
said
by the way.
7%. You thought I said 7
Oh,
games?
you said
No, I said
7%.
7%.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
And the more that I look at it, like, again, like when we're talking about these standings and we're thinking that, like, yes, Houston's 1-8-1, and they are a bad football team. I was watching them against the Redskins
Oh, yeah. It was tough.
because I'm
The
obviously
Commander.
rooting against them as a Lions fan. I need the NFC to start doing this. They just can't move the ball,
Yeah.
and it's tough.
Yeah. There's.
But outside of that, I mean, there's a lot of like 3-8 teams, 4-7 teams that you're like, they could go on a run. They could finish 7-8 or, 7-10 or 8-9. It's like, I just think the high end isn't as good right now. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think the football's as bad as people are saying.
Ceiling's really low.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't think, again,
Kansas City.
What?
It's the bell curve.
Everybody
you
else.
take
Yeah.
out them, you take out them, everybody's right there. Everybody's right there.
yeah. I mean, because last night, I would argue, Chargers played a really good game.
Yeah.
Not to say it again. Justin Herbert was throwing to almost nobody again. I mean, Keelan Allen was back, but again,
Not
who
really.
knows how long is he going to be back?
Yeah.
I mean, he made that huge play, and then he made that fuck up play.
Yeah. But again, when they scored with 1:26 left, did you really think the Chiefs weren't scoring a touchdown?
Right? I was there for too much time.
Yeah. Especially like,
But they even said at the same time, they were like, man, you got to take off as much time as you can, but still got to score that touchdown.
yeah.
And they're like, so what do you do? And you're just like, got to score a touchdown, man.
Like, I thought about it. Like, do you get to the point where, they were first and goal from the 7, and I think the Chiefs had all 3 timeouts. Do you just take 2 knees and try to make them take timeouts and just say, hey, we have 1 play on 3rd down to score a touchdown?
Yeah.
Because a field goal ties it. Because you just can't score that fast.
I just think that's where coaching needs to like evolve, as all things do in any sport, where yes, it's like you might think it's bonehead in the moment, but when we assumingly score, because that's the whole point, and that's obviously what you've drawn this 3rd play up for, is this moment right here specifically, because teams scheme for specific people. So within that division especially, you're playing Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You're probably assuming there's going to be some 2-minute drive scenario. You're going to have a handful of plays for this where it's like, we score on this in practice 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Like it's a barn burner. You do that and you're going to get ostracized for it, just like coaches get, if you punt when you're supposed to try and go for it, or vice versa. Like, yeah, I think it's a great mindset to have when it's like, this is what you now have to do to beat Patrick Mahomes, is get to the end zone or red zone and kneel.
A score with 0 time on the
Right.
clock.
Yeah.
Or like at what
You have to
point
score
where,
last.
I mean,
Yeah.
and they do have significant injuries on the defensive side of the football. Where it's like, okay, you score. Patrick Mahomes is moving now. They're on our side of the 50, and there's 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point are you like, now just let him score so we
Oh,
can
yeah.
get the ball back?
Yep.
Like, no more of this. Just letting him score on 3rd down. There's 20 seconds left. Just let him into the end zone.
It's very weird how many players have that awareness on them. Like Nick Chubb's the latest one that comes to mind, where because he was going to cover and then he just runs out of bounds to like secure the win. But yeah, more players should be taught to like have the situational awareness to know like,
He actually did the opposite.
this is where you need to kill clock.
He scored the touchdown, and then the Jets came back to win.
No, I'm talking about when he played the Texans. This was like a year or two
Oh,
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley was the first one to start it, man.
Yeah.
Brian Westbrook
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good.
had
OG.
the wine open and just stopped at the 1 and laid down.
Yeah.
Jones
Somebody
Drew.
touch him.
Oh, yeah. Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like more, I think that needs to be taught almost more than anything. Cause
but I think from a team standpoint, like, how would you feel as a defense if all of a sudden the Chiefs are on the 45-yard line with 50 seconds left
And
and,
they
you
tell
just
you-
let them score?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, because you guys just can't keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's been enough scenarios, albeit like anything can happen in football. Minnesota and Buffalo is a great example. Does Josh Allen line up really fucking weird sometimes under center where he has like, he's so big and his legs like cock back and it's weird and he fumbles it. And yes, but those types of plays are rare.
How dare you?
But they happen, and that's where I think you have to let your defense play like there's still a chance to do something.
Yeah. I just get rid of prevent defense. You're not preventing anything.
A win.
Yeah, right. For
That's
you,
That's what I'm saying.
prevent
You're
your own
preventing
win.
yourself from winning.
you prevent your
You
own
need to-
win.
yeah, I would argue that's where you like do sneaky, just your same game plan.
I'd blitz all
blitz.
day. Fuck
Yeah,
We're
like
gonna blitz.
all night. Like
Yeah.
it just So
All right.
yes,
Next one here. So, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are currently sitting at 3-7.
yeah.
They have the 4th overall draft pick. I don't think it's out of anybody's conversation to know that. I don't think the regime really loves
Derek
Carr
Carr, yeah.
Yeah.
behind center. So my question to you is, if you are a team that is in a potential win now scenario, because I don't think the Raiders are going to win that many games.
No.
So say they have a top 5 pick. Are you okay trading for Carr in a win now scenario? So in this specific one, and I get some of the cap hit might change, but I think that the ideal scenario, especially because surprisingly I don't think they're going to get a high pick. If you're the Jets, do you send a first round pick to the Raiders and say, "Give me Carr"? Does that change the trajectory of the New York Jets?
There's going to be a lot of fun quarterback movement, I think.
Yeah. And that's a good one because
You're winning right there.
you have Zach Wilson that's like,
Absolute shit.
that was your guy.
And how you thought an 18-year-old
Because
that
he
just wants to bang moms was your guy.
Because he is the
beyond me.
7th highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. Now, again, Zach Wilson's still on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
I think he has 2 more years left. But at some point, you have to think that you're going to pay the piper for your quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you just do that now and say, hey, he's the guy that can get us? I mean, their defense is top 5.
This season is
Yeah.
one of those where, granted, Brees Hall went down. If he doesn't go down and they see what they have here as the potential, Zach Wilson is their Achilles heel by a mile.
Yeah.
You ditch him and you go to the win now mentality that we talk about that I actually hate, but it's like give up the farm, whatever you have to do. But yeah, just look. So here's the thing that I've never understood: where didn't John Gruden also hate Derek Carr?
Probably.
So I don't know what's wrong, I guess, there about it, because from a stat perspective, since 2018, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards every season. He's on pace to do probably the same this year. And he's had over 20 touchdowns in 3 of those 4 years. Like, it's not outlandish to be like, well, you can clearly throw the ball.
Yeah. And it's not on him. He's not blowing 18-point leads.
He's not.
Touche.
Yeah. But it's like at the same time, you still got to score points. So, like, what happened? What stagnates your offense so bad? Is it the coaching? Is it the offensive coordinator? Like, I don't watch Raiders games, so I don't know.
Well, and that's what
I don't watch any of the games, so I don't know how they.
No, their
play
offense
this entire
moves the
season.
ball. There isn't a bigger discrepancy between units than there is in Vegas between the offense and the defense.
Yeah.
They have X amount of millions of dollars over here, nothing over here, and the talent disparity shows that. They score in every game.
Yeah.
They can't play defense.
Because for a minute there, it was like you have the AC/DC thing going on where it's just Amari Cooper, Derek Carr. You have Josh Jacobs. Like, he proved it. He's proven through certain, times where he's the guy. Like
Josh Jacobs?
He's a bell cow.
Yeah.
Can be.
I mean, he was good, then he was bad, and then he
Yeah.
was all right last year. Now he's just fucking back.
And I'm like, what happened? Like, where did we lose you guys? You had Darren Waller, who decided to get like fucking sober, went to rehab, and like blossomed into the best tight end, which now he's just injury prone. But I'm like, your offense right there was like ready.
Yeah.
Why did you blow it up? I guess blowing it up is literally just getting rid of Amari Cooper. But I'm like, still, I don't get it.
No,
I don't know,
again, they move the ball. Like, I don't understand why he's gotten the rap that he has.
Yeah.
Like, is he Mahomes? No.
No.
But, I mean,
He's also better than Mac Jones, Zach Wilson.
a lot of guys.
Yeah, like you can start rattling them off where it's like any team would be thrilled to have a quarterback that throws the
So
ball.
I think the Jets are, again, for where they're going to finish, the draft pick that they would send, like, I think it's a prime spot. The other one, again, especially because he's coming up on his rookie deal, if they make the playoffs, I think they're gonna, be like a one and done. Would you send a first round pick to Vegas if you're the Giants?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Do you feel like Derek Carr that's your guy, or would you rather go back to the draft, play out one more year with Daniel Jones? Like, do you see Derek Carr making you a Super Bowl contender if you're the Giants? Because I think that's the only way you make the trade. If you're giving up a first round pick,
you see how the rest of this year plays out, and if it wasn't just them again getting the Minnesota, treatment of like everything went their way to be 7-2, now 7-3 because your Lions beat them. Because I predict that they're going to go on a tail slide. Like one of those teams is set to.
I mean, it's like, but it's also like, who is he going to throw it to?
right?
And that's where I was thinking too. So I'm like, you go back to
And that's
the
like,
draft.
do you invest that much in a quarterback where it's like, hey, we don't have a ton of pieces except for
I mean,
Barkley.
do you trade for Derek Carr and then hope Odell comes back?
New York, because he's going to be like sneaky, like 35 or something.
I think this is the most fun one because there's already controversy around this guy. They make almost the same amount of money. Derek Carr's cap hit is $40 million. This guy's is literally 40 as well. If they somehow don't make the playoffs or lose in the first round, would you trade Derek Carr for Dak Prescott straight up?
If I'm Dallas,
Yes.
if I'm the Raiders, 100%.
Straight
I don't
up,
do it if I'm Jerry Jones now.
Straight up, I would say, yeah, it's just a lose-lose. It feels like it's like you're swapping the same thing,
Yeah.
so you might as well just stay put.
You're swapping fours.
Yeah, like let's just.
See, I feel like
I think Dak's better than Derek Carr.
I feel like if I'm Dallas, I make it only because Dak had an ability to like run, and he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And when they get super pass heavy is when they lose. And I just think Derek Carr's a better passer than Dak. So if you're taking out the legs part of it, give me Carr.
I mean, if it's,
I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if it's straight up, I get it. But again, I think it's.
I mean, they make the same amount of money.
the saying
Yeah.
the lesser of two evils doesn't feel right there. But it's like you're just, hey, do you want to go to the playoffs maybe and then lose in like the first or second round? Yeah,
But then it's like you're trading for an older quarterback
to do the same thing.
to do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're gonna potentially go
If you're
like
Dallas, then
11-6 or 12-5, but you're just gonna lose. Like it just.
But I
it
think in
smells
that
the same.
trade, like I would, if I'm the Raiders, I would send you Derek Carr and like a fourth for Dak. I wouldn't do it straight up. Like I would think that the Cowboys would want something else.
Yeah, because you're sending arguably the better player.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Okay.
You get it.
I'm going to get you with two stats here because, again,
Stats are tight.
stats are tight. The
Not
raft's
next
over.
gen ones though. I'm over
Not
those.
next gen.
I
baby.
hate those.
No, just because we do it every year or every week. So there were 13 games. How many 300-yard passers were there?
Ooh.
This week there were sneaky a decent amount.
I will say last week there were 3.
This week there was, I want to say 5 or 6.
Which one are you going to say?
6.
Okay.
I think it was on the higher end.
13 games, 26 quarterbacks, 7.
There were 6.
Nice.
Fucking knew it. Yeah, it was weird. Like
It's been the most since 5 weeks.
and like
Really?
weird
Yeah.
people had it too. Like Daniel Jones had one.
Oh, Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, like it
It
just
was weird.
Didn't make a lot of sense. I was trying to look up how many of them won, but then I think it instantly got debunked when I got to Daniel Jones. So I was like, I'm done looking at that.
But no, that's been my point.
Yeah, like
It's
they
like
don't
if you
win.
throw for 300 yards, if you're not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Tua, like you're not winning.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah,
So
like it's insane. Like it goes back to like, are we watching bad football? Is just this the new football?
Yeah.
No, I still think it's a staple, man. Like it's just
Who lost that threw for 300 besides Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
I mean, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
that
week.
one's sneaky.
You want to know the
Daniel
weirdest thing
Jones.
about that game is I watched it and it was I don't even know how to describe
Oh,
it.
this week they went 4-2.
Cleveland came out ready to punch.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper drove down the field. Amari touchdown. And
I mean,
I'm
Derek Carr at 307, and they went into overtime. So
and I was like, oh shit, like this is insane because I think I took Jacoby's under of like, I think it was,
249, I think.
yeah, or like 225. That weird number they always put it at when it's like a mediocre quarterback. He just came out and just wanted to fire the pigskin everywhere, and it looked
Playing
like,
in that dome, dude, you play faster.
but it was literally 10 to, I want to say 3 for the longest time.
yeah,
And then you blinked and it went into halftime at either 13 or 16 to 10. And it was like Bills just like Cleveland just didn't want to win.
Well, that was when the Nick Wright tweet happened.
Was it?
Oh yeah, he said something about the Bills, like, "Oh, they're off to a great start."
Yeah. And it was just literally one of those because
He didn't tweet anything after that, actually.
yeah, they shot back to the game quite
He
a
deleted
lot.
it.
But it was like
Big fan though, Nick. Come on the pod.
Buffalo played pretty sloppy, and all things considered, like it wasn't a great game by them. But I'm like, you guys still won by a lot because Cleveland got a garbage touchdown at the end to make it look close, but it was like 23-31. But it was Buffalo's game for basically the very end of the first half all the way to the rest.
Yeah,
and
that was
Cleveland
never
could
in
have
question.
won it by a mile.
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
And then this is just a fun one because it's personal to me.
Yeah,
So, my boy Hutch,
I have something on him.
he has more interceptions than
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner, and he has more sacks than Kayvon Thibodeau and Trevon Walker.
Is,
So
is he a better cornerback?
let's stop hating on my team for taking him second overall.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I would agree.
He's getting better every week.
Yes,
Scary.
He is.
he is very good. So I have one more. I just have to.
Michael Parsons wins it this year. Is Hutch the favorite next year?
No,
The rookie to the favorite?
I don't think so. I think it's Parsons is going to be the favorite for a long time. He's so good.
I think he sneaky got
really
hurt though, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't know. If
I mean,
he's-
if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
yeah, if he's not hurt.
I think Hutch's third year. I think he'll make a jump next year, but I think his third year is when he's going to be like T.J. Watty.
Oh yeah, I could see it. He's bigger. I think he's. I'd have to look.
JJ
Up,
Watt.
Little optimistic there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
have to look it up. Okay, so this one is the. Man, you guys are great. Man, I'm serious, man. This is the Dan Campbell. This is the Detroit Lions segment. So I love Dan Campbell, maybe my favorite coach currently. We were talking about it randomly last night, and I think maybe Mike McDaniels is the next one just because he says like funny, witty shit that
Yeah.
you're like, this is what you should just be like. Like, I don't know why you guys give these weird professional answers. It's just annoying and dumb. But he really does say the word man a lot. Like, I would argue
Play a
or...
clip.
Well, so I would
I'm just
beg...
kidding, don't.
Okay, I would tell anybody go try to go to the Lions like Instagram page or Google it, whatever. Like his speeches, even Hard Knocks, like that's his word. It's like one of those where if you gave it to an English teacher, they'd be like, Dan, great fucking story. However, you use this word 76 times.
Yeah.
maybe
does.
replace it.
Man and man.
It's like
Yeah.
man.
But I put Detroit's on a 3-game winning streak, the longest active one in the NFC currently, and the first since 2017, which I believe would be Stafford days.
It is.
Hutch had an interception, second on the season, most for a Ryan's rookie defensive lineman. And I actually looked it up. Honestly, could be considered the most in the modern day era. So do you want to guess who has the record for most interceptions by a lineman?
J.J. Watt.
TJ Watt.
I have no fucking clue because it was...
There's no stat.
no, the record's 4, and it was done by 5 guys from the 1950s.
Oh, nice.
Don't even want to know how football
Shout
was
'em out.
played back then. No. And then I said...
Hard. It was played hard.
Yes.
No, I just...
Especially because they probably had 4 passes thrown, so they are
Yeah.
picking them off at a high rate.
I just think it's played slow. The quarterbacks are just like these weird guys with noodle arms. I don't know. But
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're only passing 8 times a game. And for you to get 4?
It's pretty good.
8 times 16 or however many they played back
But people
then.
are throwing it 60 times a game now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get better. But, I mean,
I don't think. Do you get what we're saying?
yes.
Okay.
Tougher back then, but I just think
Yeah.
the level of play was just atrocious. Like, we could do that.
Nope.
I would almost want to go. I can't wait for time travel. So,
But you get fucking cracked.
That offensive
And that dude will
lineman
go
would
fucking work the docks the
smoke you.
next day.
no.
That dude will fucking crack your shit and then go work the docks the
Yeah.
next day.
You have no
He
trust
was
in
a
your,
man.
no trust in your boys. I put here, what's that smell?
Smells like up dog.
No, it's the playoffs. Currently, they are plus 800 on DraftKings.
Oh, talk dirty, buddy.
Sitting in the 10th spot in the NFC behind Washington and Atlanta, like we talked about before. It really does start to hurt your head playing out the scenarios because Atlanta and Washington play each other next week. Washington and the New York Giants play twice to close out the season within their final few games. And I was like, it just feels like you're going to need a lot of help from one or two teams to just absolutely fall apart.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's just
well, the other side of it too is we have to win all the games.
Yeah.
So
you
it's-
also have to win.
Yeah.
No, I
so say,
would-
say we.
Teams have to lose. You have to win.
Yeah, I mean, even if you pencil in the loss to Buffalo on Thanksgiving
yeah.
and you run the table, that's still 10-7.
Yeah.
That's a chance. That's a pretty good chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I guess it's to your argument, to your point, it's so congested up top between.
There's
just
gonna
like
be there's
two
gonna be some
divisions.
weird teams that have 7 wins might end with 10,
Well, and there's just going to be.
and teams with 4 might end with 10.
I just think the
Not bad,
NFC, maybe nobody's looked into the AFC the same way. It could be the same. I don't know. The NFC shaping up to be like week 18 is going to be one of those like every game is going to matter with whether who wins or who loses.
Yeah,
And it's going to get weird.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
the Lions play the Packers
What?
in week 18.
Oh, yeah, I already told you.
In Lambeau?
I'm taking the Lions.
Yes.
I already told you that.
I know. If it was in Green or if it was in Detroit, I'd go
No, I'm taking the Packers. Or I'm taking the Lions.
do it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. That's the Dan Campbell man. You guys are great. Man.
Top 3, bottom 3.
Yes. You guys start. I got pee.
So again, for me, the top 3 honestly didn't change much. I had Kansas City anointed 2 weeks ago. They're still the top. I think they put a little distance.
Yeah.
This one actually kind of hurt a little bit. I kept them at 2. It's Philly. I mean, I'm not going to say they're the worst 9-1 team ever. I don't know how many teams are there, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't kind of rooting for them to lose to the Colts. I just wanted it to happen 2 weeks in a row. And again, coming off of a loss, I would say they took care of business at home, even though it was a neutral site. It's Buffalo.
Yeah.
They got hit in the mouth. They came back. And again, that loss to Minnesota, it didn't change my opinion of them.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson caught a crazy pass on 4th and 18. If that doesn't happen, the last 2 weeks don't happen.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about Minnesota in the light that they were. No one's having questions about Buffalo. They started off weird. They ended up, like you said, running off 20 in a row against Cleveland.
Yeah.
The game was never in a doubt.
Perfect.
So they're still in my top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Same. Number 1. Like you said, they're the Chiefs. Everybody else is Indians.
Bingo.
They're number 1. Patrick Mahomes, number 1.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, number 1.
Yeah.
Excited to see what Kadarius Toney does. That guy's just shifty, dude.
He's
He
a
is
very
shifty. He is a
utility
what's his
knife.
name?
Oh, Percy Harvin.
No.
Hall.
Who was the Hall? Yeah.
Yes.
Dante
Dante
Hall.
Hall.
Dante Hall.
Yeah.
The joystick.
The joystick. Yeah.
Dante
He is
Hall.
that, and he's just back there, reincarnated, baby. And I'm like, all right,
Teeny
I'm
tiny.
here for it.
Teeny tiny Tony.
And then again, Philadelphia Eagles fly, baby. Number 2.
I don't know if I can call it that.
Got hit with that adversity. Bounced back from a loss.
I guess
That's okay. You were losing the whole game,
you found a way.
and then you find a way.
I guess
You find a way to put it in.
adverse. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Adversity.
Adversity. Got some of that adversity that Travis said you needed.
Yeah.
You got it in drones now.
It honestly felt like again, Vegas wanted something to happen, and Philly at least was able to be like all on board and say we're not going to let it happen.
Well, I think Vegas was like, hey, man, Colts got to cover,
Yeah.
and you got to win, baby. That's all it is.
Oh, so just the classic like
So it's like, yeah,
both
you still
sides.
say no 9-1, and we still win.
yeah, trash.
And then again, same as Skur, third. Bills, they're back. Bills back. Now I don't know if playing on a neutral site is fair, but
I know. I was kind of curious about that too, where I'm like,
it's the fairest that you could go, I guess.
I guess from it's the degen like betting aspect of it, where I'm like, this just changes a lot of ideologies for a lot of players and the props and everything. I'm like, I don't know.
Had it been 2 feet of snow, I'd have loved to see that game.
Yeah.
Love to see that game in 2 feet of snow.
6 feet, even
6
better.
feet.
I marry it at 6 feet. Yeah, like
That under was such a lock at 6 feet.
but really though, it's one of those like, does it kind of prove the point or force the question of like, so why do we not just all play in domes
Yeah.
with grass?
Because
Like-
it's not real football.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, you arguably could have had one of the craziest spectacles ever. Like we were talking about a little bit at work. I think you keep it in Buffalo. The fans are just diehards. They're loyal.
I don't think they make it to
Well,
that game.
and that's
dude.
the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that people weren't going to go to the game. It's that they couldn't go to the game. They couldn't get out of their house.
Or there's a will, there's a way. But
Nah, dude.
You-
6 feet of snow?
I would have loved.
Bro, not 6 feet of snow.
Oh, everybody there would have wanted to play the game.
Because-
they
Oh,
just
for sure.
couldn't have done it.
So then at that point, I mean, now we're just getting off onto a tailspin. But it's like, how do you then clear it out?
I literally was thinking that as a city, like, what do? You just shut down for a week,
Yeah.
wait for some of it to melt,
Yeah.
and then you're able to get out there.
Well, the governor came out and was like, "There's no more place to put the snow." Like it was just hard to get around for like emergency vehicles. So yeah,
But
Dump
you
it
know
in the
it's-
fucking river.
But you know
they
it's one of
couldn't
those
have
where
hosted a football game.
but jobs places are like, I still got to see you on Monday, and it's like, what?
We're working from home, baby.
Can't see the building.
Yeah.
Like what do you want us to do? But yeah, okay.
That's my top 3: Chiefs, Eagles, Bills.
Yeah, I'm just gonna retweet it because it's the same. Again, I almost want to say it now, say it early before everybody's. It just becomes the like, can't believe nobody's been talking about this, and it's like, this is Kansas City's Super Bowl to lose. Like, why anybody thought different? Why we thought Tyreek Hill going somewhere else and Patrick Mahomes being a generational talent? Realizing when you pull the layers back, Travis Kelce is a generational, arguably best player. Like, two of the best to ever play the game at their positions are on the same team.
I mean, we don't know if Patrick Mahomes is that good,
But
I mean, again, I'm not counting out Buffalo.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm not
they're
either.
going through a little lull. And again, Kansas City,
adversity, as some people call it.
Kansas
gonna be
City
better
has
for
had
it.
this the last 2 years where it's like they had that 4-game stretch where they're losing, they're not covering spreads. They're like, oh, what's going on? And it's like Kansas City has 3 different seasons. It's always Mahomes MVP, what's happening to the team, oh, they're running into shape. But we're giving them benefit
We
of the doubt
anointed Mahomes too soon.
because they're the champions. Buffalo's just kind of going through that right now. And if you tell me Josh Allen again, he has to prove it, but he already went into Arrowhead earlier and won.
Yeah.
Granted, it was a regular season, but don't tell me the Chiefs didn't want to win that game.
Everybody wants to win that
So
game.
here's
you're
the
going to
thing.
give me one game. I'm not going to say that Buffalo can't win.
No, here's the thing with the Chiefs, because I like what you said, but I think with the Chiefs now, it just further solidifies why they are who they are and how great they are. It's they go through, their season goes through these ups and downs, these highs and lows, whatever. They're figuring it out in the game. Like, they're not letting it happen over stretches of weeks. They're just like, oh shit, we're sucking right now, and then they just figure it out and fucking win. Like, they're not letting it go too far, like literally outside of one game.
I think it's just great coaching. That's Andy Reid, baby.
Love it.
Well, I think
Big
on
Red.
It's a
That was
stash.
Big Red,
That's
man.
a stash.
on a smaller level, so not in the totality of what they've accomplished, I do think it's modern day Brady Manning. I think he's conquered the mountaintop. He has the championship. Josh Allen's like, oh, he's just this regular season quarterback. He goes to the playoffs, and
Yeah.
he hasn't laid an egg. I mean, he played a perfect game in Kansas City and gave his defense 13 seconds, and they couldn't fucking hold on to it. So, like, he did his job.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like, until he wins, like, oh, you're Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I would take Peyton Manning in any football game he
Not
played
bad
in.
company.
Right.
Yeah.
So, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Shoot for the moon, you land with the stars. You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Retweet.
Let's
Yeah.
get to the fun stuff.
The bottom three.
Bottom three.
The bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to start.
All right. So, for me,
Yeah.
let's ride.
Broncos country.
God, they're bad.
Ooh, they're not good.
And, again, you've seen every stat. Same thing would hold true.
Do the toilet one.
Well, if they would just average 18 points on offense, they'd be 9-1.
But do the
That's
toilet
insane.
analogy
Which one's that?
with his bathrooms.
Oh, I showed him that video.
Yeah. Do that.
Yes. So Russell Wilson has 7 total touchdowns. Him and Sierra's house has 12 total bathrooms. So people are saying that the bathrooms are going to win the year stat, which is just improbable
Yeah, that's
for a $250 million quarterback.
I love it, dude. Man.
And the best thing about that guy is he's so deadpan when he's saying that video.
It's
like
good.
he is just a lifelong Broncos fan that is just
Yeah.
miserable.
It's so good. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So my number 2, this is a product of injuries, product of the roster.
Number 31.
31. It's the Rams. Stafford got hurt too, and they're bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and credit to Matt and even I guess the Rams for trying to win that game, because he came in, they were throwing dimes, they were down a field goal in the third quarter when he got hurt, got fucking just smashed in the end zone. The backup quarterback came in, and then I mean I think the Saints scored 17 straight points.
Yeah.
Got a little nasty there.
Yeah.
They're not going to win a lot of games. I don't mind it because the Lions have the Rams pick, so good for us.
Yeah.
And as I alluded to earlier, it's just Houston. I want to root for him. I love Pierce. He's on my fantasy team. He runs hard. They just can't move the ball,
Yeah.
and their defense isn't great. They need to overhaul there.
They're your 32?
They're my 32.
Okay. Because you started at 30. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
My bottom 3, At 30, I had to switch it. It's the Carolina Panthers.
Same.
I have them at 30. They're not good.
That was a miserable game.
I didn't watch anything of it.
God,
I was
it
just
was
watching
bad.
the ticker, and I was just like, what the fuck are the Ravens doing?
Dude.
Because, like, my phone was blowing up like, Lamar Jackson in the red zone. Lamar Jackson in the red zone.
It was 3 to
I'm just like,
3
what
for
the
what
fuck?
felt like 6 quarters.
Oh, that game
Yeah.
was way closer than the final score.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
13 to 3.
Yeah.
And it was just like that was the entire game. It was 3 to 3 the whole time.
Yeah. And I was just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. Hot garbage.
Yeah.
Hot.
31.
31 with the Cooper Cup injury and the Matt Stafford concussion protocol, you
Yeah.
got to put him at 30.
Yeah.
I had him at 30. Both the Cooper Cup being out,
You're
they
done.
dropped. And then now Matt Stafford, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Bring him down.
There it is, baby.
Well, so then here's the crazy maybe argument or like debate. Do you just basically say like, "Hey Matt, thanks for coming here.
Yes.
Like one and done. Like we'll see you."
No, you'll come back next year. Like I would replay him, but it's like we're gonna shut you down.
Well, no,
Like
because
for the rest of this year, shut
Yes,
him down.
like
but is
rehab your
is
elbow.
Stafford getting sneaky old. Like it's kind of getting to
He's
that.
35. He would be 35 next year.
So it's not too bad, I guess. Like,
Trade for Derek Carr.
Ooh.
would you?
If I'm a Ram,
He's your guy.
what if they're gonna give me what pick are they giving me? Is it just straight
I have
up?
no idea.
They're giving you Derek Carr, the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders.
If I shut Stafford down now and let him for the whole,
Heal up.
then no. But like if you're gonna give me Derek Carr and a pick, probably
All right.
Classic. Okay.
Nice.
because I'm a good GM.
Last and least, the Tehans.
Yeah,
That's the Texans, man.
they're bad.
Yeah.
Can't win football games. Can't be good. It's that simple.
As soon as they threw a pick six to start the game, I was like, "This is why you're
Yep.
1-7-1." I was
Yep.
like, "Okay, I get it now." Like
Yeah.
Davis Mills.
And you knew it was over. That was the point.
Yeah.
Once they threw that, you knew they were losing.
So
the
you
game.
did know that there was one game that was quicker than the Minnesota Vikings.
Tou-
How was going to
touche-
outcome?
yeah,
how the
touche.
outcome was going to go.
Because it was one of those too. Yeah, you're watching it and you're like, the only way you have a chance is if you score first and the momentum feels like it's on your side.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go down, it's just you're done. But okay, my bottom three. Carolina is 30th, like you had mentioned. I don't know what they're doing. Kind of goes back to like the original point of the season where for whatever reason Skur wanted to anoint them as this sneaky dark horse playoff team, and they're just ass.
Thought it was a Baker Mayfield revenge year, dude.
I did.
Honestly, just that first game though against the Browns. I thought it was a revenge game.
Yeah, no.
I win some, you lose some, man.
Yeah,
Houston, we talked about it.
It's hot takes pod.
Yeah, it's just name me anybody aside from Damian Pierce and then Brandon Cooks who doesn't even want to be there.
dude. Nico Collins, baby.
It's tough.
Davis Mills,
And then
Brevin Jordan,
it is
OJ
the
Howard.
OJ Howard. Yeah, I forgot he went there. Denver
Bama.
Broncos.
Ooh, Denver Broncos last.
So they're dead last to me, and I almost want this to be like, I don't know, not a segment, a point, but it cannot go unnoticed as much as it has been for how many ESPNs, Fox Sports, you name it, these 5-star bigwigs got paid to be like, they're Super Bowl bound. The Denver Broncos were one guy away, and they got their guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got a guy, I don't know who he is, but he's fucking terrible. And then the whole thing came out, obviously the high knees on the plane, like all this weird, just fucking like, there's no way you got voted as the best player ever because nobody likes you. Like, it's just apparent. The new thing now that came out is apparently he's quote unquote like so confused. His audibles are Seattle audibles and not Denver audibles. So he like doesn't even know where he's at.
It happens, man.
Happens, dude.
Altitude's high there.
That is dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, when you're calling the wrong
Podcaster.
place. Yeah.
I mean, you lose Javonte Williams, Jared Judy,
and
the
again,
two number one
Ma-
offensive weapons.
paint me the martyr. I don't give an
Then you
absolute
trade-
fuck.
then you
Their
trade
offense
Chubb.
was not poised to be good now that they got Russell.
I mean, on paper it was.
No, it was not.
Yes, it
and
was.
that will be one of my maybe hottest takes, whatever.
I mean,
run the
let's be
tape.
honest here. The Lions drafted a wide receiver that has a torn ACL, so he hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
So I know about losing talent.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody all of a sudden was like, oh, dude, Russ is going to plug and play. He's going to be sick. It's like, no.
I mean, no, on paper they should have been much better.
Yeah,
Sure.
on paper.
Yes.
Sure.
There was a reason to have, I wouldn't even say optimism, but I would say like hype in
Yeah.
Denver before the season started. And this is why these takes are happening, because it is crazy. Nobody saw this coming.
I did.
You did not see them
Get
being
outta
this
here.
fucking
I will
bad.
literally run it back and find it because I said from
Check the tape.
I did. I will. From the very beginning, I said I do not understand this Denver hype. From the very beginning.
Just because you don't understand the hype doesn't mean you're going to say that they're this.
They're going to
bad.
be 3-7.
Yeah.
I'll run it back, but I'm pretty sure I was pretty heavy on it. So
Buddy, your notes are right there. What did you pick them at?
I didn't write it down.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah.
This fucking guy.
I get
But
it.
yeah, I just would you do Russell
Offspringers, write it in.
Russell Wilson for Derek Carr?
No.
I mean, if I'm the Broncos, probably.
I'm on the Broncos, yes. I'm
Yeah,
not taking
that's it.
Carr if I'm Vegas. You
Just
kidding
making
me?
sure. Yeah,
All right.
pick time.
Let's make some money.
Let's make some money, guys.
Why don't you recap me? Where are we at?
Couldn't be more thrilled to be in dead last. It is currently
Actually, I think you're tied because you have a tie, right?
oh touche. So we're sitting at 17 and 15 and 1 as a whole as a pod.
This pod is making you money, and that is the goal.
Again, Dutt last year I think was like 13 and 3 or
I don't
something.
think it was that good.
You're 7 and 3 now. Scurry, you're 5 and 6.
You know it.
I am 4, 6 and 1. It's just
Oh, you are in dead last.
yeah, it's tough.
This is the last week for me. Under 500.
It's a bad beat.
I love it.
I mean, if somebody's gonna pick, the one, I'm glad I picked it and was just like, hey guys, stay away from me. Like if you're gonna lose, I'd rather just lose insanely badly.
Oh, I totally agree. The worst thing is
Yeah.
having hope.
Yeah.
As a fan, you like it, but like as a bettor, you're like, just take my money now so I can go into something different.
You knew as soon as it happened, and you're like, pivot, time to pivot.
100%.
Let's go put that money somewhere else.
Live line.
bet the other way. Bet the other way. Bet the other way. Yeah.
Cowboys by $1 million.
So
That being said, what are you going to do now? You have to pivot. Where are you going?
I am going to pivot.
Pivot?
Pivot.
Pivot?
There's a couple obviously
Friends
that are,
reference.
couple out there. Obviously, I mean there are some turd bowls, and shout out to you for picking a turd bowl game and it just being a walk off in OT because I think you literally said like it's just going to be Derek Carr.
Somebody has to win the game.
Somebody's got to
Yeah.
win it, baby.
Devontae Adams, like somebody's going to do it. I think what you do here is you go,
And you win the game.
you take a road team, and you pray that the home team is not as advertised. They've never shown up like we assumed they were in the early weeks. And it is Baltimore -4 going to Jacksonville.
I love it. Honestly, love it.
Yeah. I think Jacksonville.
Should I take the Jags +4 out of my picks?
Ooh, a head-to-header?
No.
Hey, we got to win. Hey, we got to win these boys money.
Yeah, I just think it's one of
That's
those.
guaranteed money right there.
Baltimore, all things considered, from that weird game in Carolina, technically I think they covered against them, right? Like, wasn't the spread only like 7.5 or 8 or something?
Yeah.
For which one?
This is a kitchen.
Carolina,
This is a kitchen
Baltimore?
sink game for
Yeah, it was
Jacksonville.
12.5.
Everything's
Oh,
coming
was it?
out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it got up to 13.5.
Oh, it was big.
But it was
13.5.
12.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. But I think Baltimore is a good football team. They're going to go to the playoffs, and I think Jacksonville sniffed what being potentially good was like, and then they just decided to throw it all away.
Then they're like, nah, not for us.
Yeah, so I was like, give me Lamar. You're going to win by a touchdown.
Lawrence coming out party.
Jacksonville doesn't have it. I think, yeah.
Then they lose the following week.
Shut up.
Okay. They play Detroit 2 weeks. All right.
Pick it.
And again, I'm one game below 500.
Couldn't be more ready.
Yes, I
Love
am.
it.
This is a Thanksgiving pick. This is 40% heart, 60% what you should do.
Detroit Lions +9.
It's the Detroit Lions +9. That's a lot of points.
I got 9.5 on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I'll give you the
And
9. I'll
again-
give you the hook, baby.
And it's like what I talked about
+9.
earlier.
What that hook gonna be?
Have we seen just very small amounts of really elite football, and that's what we're getting, or have we seen a lot of bad football? I don't think we are. I don't think at this point. I mean, the Bills have played some close games over the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
9 points is a lot
9 points.
for a team that scores a lot of points at home. Would I love for the Lions to win this game? Absolutely.
But they're going to score. That's
Could
one
it
thing
be
they do know how to score.
Could it be 31-24? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a cover. And
What's
that's
the,
500.
What's the Coach Carter saying with this where it works? He's like, "Now I know y'all are a little afraid because we didn't practice on our offense this week. But what did we do? Run? Yeah. What do you want me? What do you think we want you to do out there? Run?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if there's one thing Detroit knows how to do, it's score.
Man,
Doesn't mean they have to score more than the other team. Just score enough to keep it close.
Yeah.
Lions +9 for 500.
Outright.
Woo!
Here's what I don't like about that.
I love it. Just,
Why do you think the Bills moved to Detroit last week? They know the lay of land. That's their house now, dude.
They went
Oh.
home. They went home. That's what I don't understand.
Buffalo Bills
Yeah.
played in Detroit last week.
Right, but I'm saying, like, how do you not just stay there? Like, they went back to Buffalo.
Oh,
That's an insane thing that like you think you should just think about, and I don't.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. Maybe it's your family, Thanksgiving holiday, but you're not.
Fuck
You're not
that.
gonna be with them on the game. You got to go to Detroit.
I say fuck that.
I think I am
Gonna take
gonna ride the hot hand
of.
or the hot legs of King Henry.
Ooh,
That was the other one I was looking at.
he's good. He runs the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, myself included, believe in Cincinnati. What's the old Mixon status? That was bad.
He's potentially out, and then Jamar is still probably out, I think.
Oh sure. Man, those are both out, and they're still
Or-
1.5 point favorites. How much do they
or-
not respect Tennessee? Oh, we're backing on the pick.
Or this is the process. Dude, trust the process.
Every time, 7-3.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like I hate it, but I love it,
Yeah.
and it's just
Well, once it gets to 3-7, I'm not allowing it.
All right. I'm changing it. We're flipping the script.
here we go.
Coming off the bye week,
Smart.
Miami.
Gino at home against the Raiders.
Seattle.
We took the Raiders. They
Yeah.
did what they needed to do.
Yep.
And I'm over you.
Now we're over you.
Okay.
And I'm taking Seattle.
Minus
Seattle minus 3.5.
3.5.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The hooky. Uh-oh.
Let's
Guys,
do it.
bet responsible. Bet with the pod. So far, you'll be up money.
Love
Yeah.
to see it. Love to see it.
Individual, don't put it in a parlay, obviously.
God, no. It's only happened once.
Last thing, because we're basically done, right?
Yeah.
I came up with a new betting strategy.
Okay.
Love it.
Put in an insane parlay.
Yep.
Always
Duh,
have to.
Have to. Lotto.
19 legs.
Take any and all legs that you want, bust it up. My new strategy now every week, Dutt and I were kind of formulating something, I think, without even knowing it. Fall in love with something, marry one bet.
Yeah.
I married Justin Fields anytime touchdown score. I got married.
Hammered it.
Loved it. Scored. Awesome. I then took 2 teams, money line parlays. That didn't hit.
Neither did mine. Did you see my bet?
Uh-uh.
I put it in the group. I mean, that group that we created.
Oh, did you?
So whatever you bet now,
Both
just
the
automatically
stack.
goes
Just shows there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chiefs Bears, loved it. If it wasn't for, there was some kind of shenanigans that happened at the end of the game, but the
Yeah.
Bears had a chance, and they were up 17-7 at one point, so I was feeling good about it. And then it's just taking out of the parlay 2 to 4 legs and just betting on one team.
Yeah.
So it's like it'll work.
Sure.
It'll play out.
It's basically the best strategy of a parlay, which is the worst strategy, is just kiss it. Keep it.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just don't do the 17-legger. Do a 3-legger.
Yeah. And also bet individually. And
Yeah.
then also sprinkle in some props.
Yeah, you just get 3 props you love.
Take the paycheck, light it on fire.
Basically,
And then log into your DraftKings account
Yeah.
and see if there's any
That's all.
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 79.
79.
79,
I got
fine
it
like
right.
wine.
That's called a winning streak.
Let's do it.
Done.